Do you want to know what I used to struggle with? Binge eating. Do you want to know what else I struggled with? Emotional eating. My emotions had total control. I was out of control with food. I was eating all the time and I was doing nothing but dieting, counting calories, and stepping on the scale to see if just maybe today was the day where I lost a couple pounds, or just maybe my pants felt a little looser. Those days came very rarely. Once in a while they would come and I would get really excited, but guess what? I was restricting so much that it wasn't sustainable, and then I would end up binge eating once more, and the calories would be increasing, the scale number would increase, and my pant size also increased. This cycle happened over and over and over for me. I realized that there was more to this diet mindset, this diet culture, than I ever knew. I thought it was about restriction and eating less and exercising more, right? We've all heard that. Well, wrong. What the problem was for me and many other people and clients that I work with inside my program is that our emotions are really big, but we've never been taught what to do with our emotions. But we have been fed because we've had emotions. So in childhood, think about all those times that you got that ice cream, or you fell off your bike and you got those cookies. I got all those wonderful things every time I was hurting. So why would I not give myself that when I'm hurting emotionally as an adult? We have created our brain pathways to respond in this way. Hurt equals food. Feeling equals food. So now as adults, we struggle with our food relationships because we haven't been taught what to do with our emotions other than feed them. So here we are feeding our emotions, and years went by for me where I was constantly feeding my emotions, but blame the diet. I didn't understand why the diet wasn't working. I was an emotional eater and binge eater for most of my life. I started diets at age 11. I remember calorie counting. I remember being so afraid of fat. I grew up in the fat-free area. Fat was just something I feared. I couldn't stand fat. I was so scared. But guess what? I was behind eating fat-free cookies on the other end of the day and wondering why I couldn't get the weight off. It wasn't the fat. It was the emotions driving me to eat all those cookies and driving me to binge and do these things. I struggled year after year, but I always thought it was the diets. I was taught to restrict and I was taught to exercise more. From everything around me, magazines, billboards, people that I heard doing diets as a kid, all the time. If you ate that ice cream, ooh, you're going to really have to get in the gym and work that off tomorrow. Those types of statements led me to believe as a kid that I couldn't have certain foods, and if I did, then I am going to gain weight. I am going to have to fear these foods. And so I did fear these foods. The problem was I still wanted these foods. So I had to figure out a way to create space for the foods I really wanted. And I had to work on my fear around these foods and not see them as so scary, and develop a different relationship with these foods so I controlled the food and the food didn't control me. I did deep work. I threw dieting out the window because I had truly given up. I had hit rock bottom with my emotional self, with my weight. I was defeated and I just needed to do something different. So I started to dive into my emotions, and lo and behold, what happened for me as I worked through my anxiety, as I worked through some of my depression, is that my weight started to actually come off. I was getting in the gym more, not because I was following a diet, not because I was doing some program that told me I had to work out for an hour a day, but because I was actually working on my emotion. This was all totally possible with lots of an emotional work. This is the piece that we forget to do. This is the part that diets don't tell you. They don't tell you to look at what the emotion is driving you to the food choice, what the emotion is behind the urge to eat. What is happening? Sometimes there's a physical hunger and we want to eat because we're hungry. But a lot of times when we're wanting those big things of chips and cookies and popcorn and those yummy foods that brought us comfort as a kid, there's emotions driving our choices. So what do we do? In my next video, I'm going to talk about coping skills. Coping skills we have all backwards. We are doing really big coping skills, but we should be starting with smaller coping skills so we can feel a win. So stay tuned for that video and tune into all my videos. And if you're wanting my free training, grab it below and let's connect. If you're struggling with binge eating, emotional eating, drop me a message. Let's connect. I am here to support you. I am cheering you on, and you can really be successful as you change your relationship with food for good.